Okay, so what have I learned since E3? Well, I've learned that Capcom have decided to take on Dauntless pretty much head on, although Dauntless will have a slight head start because their early access will start in August with the alpha packages. The earliest we'll be seeing Monster Hunter will be early 2018, so there will be a few months where people can play Dauntless that they won't have access to Monster Hunter, giving Dauntless a slight edge if people want to get in there early. I'm now going to just talk over the pros and cons of both series really, as both I feel give different reasons for purchase and both give different reasons for being successful really. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Monster Hunter will obviously be pay to play, and that's probably going to be in pounds about $49.99 and about $60. The other thing is that Dauntless will be free to play eventually, so when Dauntless gets released in probably early-ish 2018, that will be directly competing with Monster Hunter, which is also a good thing because the fact that it means that Dauntless will actually be more appealing to people who haven't played the genre. However, if you want to get your feet wet sooner, you can buy the Alpha package, which is currently $79.99. However, there are also cheaper beta packages available which allow you access but just a little bit later than the Alpha. Although in fairness, if you can afford it, it is technically only about $20 more expensive than Monster Hunter on full release. Now let's have a look at the graphics and textures. Both games have a very different graphical approach. I mean, Dauntless to me, I'm not sure whether you will agree, looks very similar in my eyes to a very Blizzard style Overwatch kind of looking game. Very nice to look at, very clean cut, not hard to develop either, quite nice and easy to kind of make it look nice. I'm not trying to say it's worse and I'm not trying to say it's easy, but it does look nice for the simplicity that it is, and that kind of has its own charm. Monster Hunter on the other hand has gone for the full-on, very detailed graphical approach. It looks very nice. People who will be playing on PC may struggle with it if it's a bad port, depending on how well they do it. Although Capcom usually does good console ports to PC, so I wouldn't be surprised if that ran well from the get-go, to be completely honest. Another thing to talk about would be the fact that Monster Hunter is obviously a long-standing contender in this genre. It kind of is its own genre. It's been going since 2004. So for Dauntless to be coming out at this point and trying to contend with it is quite brave, really, and I really hope that it works out because it's nice to have competition between game series, because otherwise you end up with it going stale eventually, and that'd be bad for both Capcom and us. Another thing that competition between games does is it forces them to both innovate and try to be different, and take more risks than they usually would to try and provide better, more entertaining gameplay. And you're right, that is once again another win for the gamer. And the last thing that I want to talk about really is the DLC. Monster Hunter has always had a lot of free DLC, which is really nice because of the fact that a lot of companies seem to charge you for almost nothing. However, with Dauntless, I have no doubt that you will get free updates quite regularly due to it being a PC-based release. However, due to it being free, I could see in the future, like long-term 1, 2, 3 years, they could release rather large, big bundles of new content for a small fee. I don't think many people would be upset with that due to the fact that it is a free game, you get to try it before you buy it, and any bonus content you want to buy is obviously your choice if you want it. And considering that I'm actually considering buying the alpha pack to get into the alpha early, I wouldn't even be too upset if they did do that, because it would be a long time in the future. I paid for alpha access not for the future content of the game. Although, spoiler alert, I will be playing both Monster Hunter and Dauntless, so it's kind of a no-brainer for me. Although I will admit, when they announced Monster Hunter at the E3 conference, I was actually quite surprised because Monster Hunter is usually really far spaced apart and it never gets announced for PC. The fact that it's going to be coming to PC is actually really nice. I was quite shocked by that. Although I'll just say that my final thoughts are that if you are strapped for cash, you don't really know whether you'll like this kind of game. If you've never played this kind of game before, I would wait for Dauntless to come out because it'll be free. You can get your feet wet. If you like it, you could go on and buy Monster Hunter because you know you'll like that kind of game genre. However, if you know what you like, you're probably going to lean more towards Monster Hunter, although Dauntless is free, so you don't really have an excuse not to try it. But really, that concludes it for this video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, give it a dislike. And if you really like me, you can always give me a subscribe. And I will see you guys for the next video.